Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate this little kind of folio thing that I made with the Transcontinental Railroad kit from Tailor Made Cards for You. It's got some 1/4-inch pockets. It's got a little bit of a journaling space here in the middle, and it opens out 4. So it's pretty easy to make. And I'll show you some still pictures here, and you can pick up this kit again at tailormadecardsforyou.com. So here are some still photographs. I just love this lady. She looks happy. And I've stuffed it full of ephemera from the kit. There's lots of different choices there, and I tried to use everything. I do like to use most of the kit for my demos. And so here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's a list of what you're going to need to complete this particular tutorial. I will try and list it also in the description box below. And here are some of the measurements that I used. Now I know Eileen Godwin has a die out there that'll make this, but me, I had to make it by hand. So here we go. Here's all of the things I've already cut out from the kit. And the cool thing about digital kits is you can actually print them in any size you want if you have an image editing program. I use Photoshop. I've used Photoshop since, I don't know, the 80s. So it's kind of my go-to, but there are free ones out there. There's GIMP. Is the one that I know about, and I know there's some others now, but I'm not familiar. Google is your friend. So I've cut out all these pieces of ephemera from the kit, and of course I won't be using all of them, but I do like to have extras. And I do love Antique Railway. I think it's really cool. So we've got a little couple playing cards, and these, some of those I have shrunk down. This one I printed actually on tracing paper, and I've made several of those because I want to use those for my covers. And then these are all the journal type pages that are included with the kit. Quite a few of them. And then I've got here, right beside me on my left, I've got already cut out all of the pieces of, it's not really chipboard, it's heavy, well, it's heavy craft cardstock, and it is the stuff from Ranger. So you'll see that I've got here, I made a prototype so that I could be sure that everything would fit together properly. So I'm going to start by actually making my my connectors for my pages. And what I do is I take in and just a big piece of paper, right? And I take it into my scoreboard, and I scored it 1/4 inch all the way down. And then I cut these like so that they're 1/2 inch. And then I fold them because these are what I'm going to use as basically hinges for my covers. So I just get them nice and crisp. And I'll cut them down to size when I'm ready for them. So I'm just going to keep them there at that 8.5 by 1/2 inch. So I take glue, put it on one side, and right now I'm working on the spine. And I'm just going to glue that down, basically 1/2 of it. Right at that middle line, and I did check to make sure that it would actually bend, because you don't want to go over that line where it's stiff and won't bend. And I like to wipe up the excess glue with my paper towel, and I'll just use my bone folder to make sure it's good and stuck down. I do use the reptile adhesive for this. So now I'm going to do the other side of the spine. Same thing, just put glue down on 1/2 of it and lay that spine piece in there. Get it nice and even. Wipe off that excess glue so that I can fold this over and make sure that it actually goes. Make sure it actually folds. So then I'll go ahead and trim it off to size. I just find it easier than going through and measuring it all. I'm just lazy that way, so sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So I have side spines as well. So I went ahead and glued those together off camera because this is a 4-fold. So my main spine is 1 inch, my side spines are a 1/2 inch. And now I'm gonna glue on my main page to the other side of that hinge, and notice that I trimmed down the hinges. I just did like a little miter cut just so that they didn't stick up at all. And I want to make sure I get this on here nice and straight, and then I'll press it down with my bone folder, flip it over, and press down the other side. Make sure everything still bends. Give it a little bit of a score there, a little bit of a fold, and there I've got all 4 pieces put together here for you. I didn't figure you need to sit there and watch me put all those pieces together, but now I need to start decorating the cover. So I chose this train picture that says Transcontinental Railroad on it, and I'm going to make sure that I'm using the main portion of the train for this, and I'm working on the outside right now. So I'm just going to take my pencil, I'm going to mark where I need to cut. So I've cut those all down. I needed 4 of them, and I've glued them down with the my matte multimedia matte glue. And here I'm just showing you that I am going to glue within the spines as well, just to reinforce everything and to cover up all that paper that I did basically. So I'm just using the scraps and cutting them down. So I needed 1 inch and a 1/2 inch. So I'm going a little under 1/2 inch and going a little under 1 inch to get those covered. And of course I will dirty them up. Right now I'm just erasing any pencil marks. I'll grunge the edges up like I've done on all 4 of the big pieces. And then I'll just glue those down. I think that this step takes the longest of anything. But it's worth it. It really does kind of, you know, pull it all together and, you know, continue to give it that antique-y look. And for these, I'm using my Fabri-Tac glue because, just because, I don't know, it's what's near me. Oh, guys, I'm a hot mess, I'm telling you. I am really late editing this. I filmed it and had it in this iPad weeks ago, and it's been so hot, I haven't wanted to turn my air off long enough to edit a video until I absolutely had to. Well, here we are. It's an hour and a half before I have to go to work, and I'm editing this video. But I'm on a deadline here, so that's that. So if you see things sped up, which I have pretty much sped up this whole video, it's because it's hot. I need my air back on. Sorry about that. That would be my inbox. Some other junk trying to sell me something. All right, we've got basically the outside edge done, and then I'm just, what you see me doing here is just trimming off any excess. Now we're going to work on the inside. And I'm going to cut these pieces in half, because they're going to go separately on each page. Since I have a spine in there, I can't use them as folded pages. Now I do use some of the other ones for the journal portion, but I'm just going to edge these up and glue them down. Same thing you saw me do on the last half. So they fit, you know, very well. And I have a printer that doesn't print all the way to the edge. So what I have to do when I print out something like this and I need it to be a whole page without anything cut off, I have to print it at 8 by 10. And then it still might cut some off, but it didn't in this case. I'm not mad, you know, it's a good printer. It hasn't cut out on me or quit on me. Hewlett Packard sends me the ink because I'm in like an ink program. And so because I'm connected on the internet with my printer, it knows when I'm running low on ink. And I get basically charged by the page. So I get X amount of free pages, and I'd love to tell you what that is, but I don't remember. And then after that, I get charged for pages. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and smooth that down. I did use my Fabri-Tac tape, and I'm going to do that on all 4 of these. And I guess I'm going to let you watch me. So we will continue to visit. Even though you're not here, you are here with me. I understand why people like to do live videos. There's no work involved in it other than the making with a pre-recorded video, and especially in my case, like, I would love to not have to do a voiceover, but I live in a house with a lot of animals and craziness and interruptions, and you know, I was at first doing them that way and just, you know, shutting down, stopping, dealing with whatever was going on, re-recording because whatever was going on made me make a mess. But you know what? I'm done with that. All right, last one. Aren't these pages pretty? I just love them. Now, the thing I don't like about this Fabri-Tac glue is it's very hard to squeeze the bottle. And those of us with old hands know my pain. It starts getting really sore squeezing that bottle because the glue is viscous. All right, so we've got our spine, our whole, basically our, the word escapes me, our shell, our jacket. There we go. So I'm not filling in the spines on that one, or maybe I am. I don't remember. See, like I said, weeks ago I did this video. Yep, I am. So I'm just using these duplicate pieces to cut out what I need and kind of measure where I want it on that piece. I think I just do the 1 inch, maybe I do the 1/2 inches too. Either way, do it or don't do it, up to you. Yep, I do the 1/2 inches, and there we go. Good, I didn't make you watch. So this is ready to go. I could use it either way. So all it's left to do is make the pockets. And on either side, I've done a pocket that has a 1/4 inch thickness to it so that you could put a lot of things in the pocket. And the idea that I was doing was that this would be kind of like a trip package. So you would get on the train and the conductor or the train attendant would hand you this package that would have, you know, all the menus, all the things to see, maps, all kinds of fun stuff to enjoy on your transcontinental trip. So that was my thinking, and I did in fact make a menu. I don't think I show the menu other than just pulling it up, but I made my own menu. This was so much fun to make. So what you see me doing here is just measuring to find the middle here so I can make a thumb notch. You know, eyeballing is great, but for me, I can't see straight, so I have to measure. So I cut out that thumb notch, and then I'm going to go ahead and burnish these edges here. And what I had done is I had scored that at a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch on each side, on the 3 sides I should say. I left the top side alone. And so I'm scoring and burnishing all of those, and then I'm going to trim out the parts I don't need and also kind of do a little miter cut. So I don't need that part. The only part I need is that one little flap. So I just cut those out and then miter them, and it's tiny. But what happens then is when you glue it together, nothing pokes out. So we'll do this other one. You're basically making a little backward staircase there that comes loose. There we go. And all we have to do is glue those pieces together and then glue them down. But before I glue them together, I'm going to go ahead and decorate this. So of course I'm going to edge it. I'm quiet here because there's really nothing to say. Oh, y'all, I slept in this morning till 8:30. I'm all out of sorts because normally I get up around 5, even though I work till 9 at night and usually don't get to bed until, I don't know, midnight or 1. So I've got all my little ephemera pieces in this little dollar store box so that they're just kind of contained. So I'm just kind of picking through, deciding what I want to see on there. Again, thinking about what you might see on that little travel package that they gave you. There might be a history of the railroad in there, interesting stops along the way, crossword puzzles and stuff to do, maybe a sleeping mask, I don't know. I've never been on a train other than like a wine train one time when I was a kid. Of course, I didn't get to have any wine, but all the adults did. That was fun, though. That was up in Tuolumne County, where I grew up in California. And the train kind of went around the mountains, close to Yosemite, I guess. I don't know, something. It was a wine train. That's all I know. So that's the only time I've ever been on a train, and it was definitely just going basically in a circle around a mountain. But even I think on that train, there was like a little brochure type thing. So that's my idea and thinking. And I'm not making any of these into pockets, at least not on this side. I'm just decorating. So I'm happy with the decorations. So now I'm going to glue these little corners on, and I'm just grabbing the corner piece and then basically kind of turning it over and grabbing my bone folder and just kind of pressing down. And it's not easy to glue these, I will tell you right now, because they're so tiny. But they will stay together once you, basically you have to just glue that and hold it down. And what I ended up doing was actually putting a couple of clips on there so I didn't have to sit there and hold it with my finger. Now the reptile adhesive grabs pretty quickly. But sometimes when you've got something inked up, it doesn't like to grab onto the ink very well. Or quickly. It'll grab, that's for sure, but just not quickly. All right, so we're happy with that. And I'm seeing where I want to place it. And I'm just going to glue it down. And I use quite a lot of glue to get this glued down. I want to make sure it stays. There we go. Loving it, loving it. Try not to smash it when you're holding it down, but you do want to put a little bit of pressure on there. Make sure there's no gaps. And then when it starts to take hold, you can take your bone folder or a ruler. I take a ruler and just kind of go inside and press down to kind of burnish that down. So you see, we've still got plenty of space in there to do another one on the other side and hold our pockets and journal. So there's my little menu that I made, and I've already glued on the other side. Now we're going to do our pockets, and I'm just using that same craft paper. I did cut the pockets identical, so they're just basically a square with the corner cut off. And there's my little journal that's going to go inside, and it's just some of those pages folded up. So I'm going to put these pockets down, and then I'm going to decorate them, but I think I'll decorate them before I actually put them down. So I'm just going to lay some of my paper on, and I want them again to be identical. And I'm just going to draw out and measure what I need to cut off. And the way I did that was I just kind of scooted it up and over so that because I just want just a tiny edge sticking out, not much. So I don't want it exactly the same. I want it just a smidge smaller. Let's see. Okay, so look what we did. We messed that one up. Okay, there we go. Let's make this fit. Well, I'm going to have to trim some more off. Struggle's real, y'all. See, I'm not happy with it because it's too short at the top. So, yep, start over. There we go. I have more pieces. I can do this. I'm not the best at measuring, but I do have fun doing it. Oh, I do like that train. I do. All right, here's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to draw it exactly. And then trim it a little bit off, if that makes sense. So just trim a little bit under the lines that I drew. And that should, theoretically, in a perfect world, get me what I'm looking for. Let's see. Test it. Yeah, there's what I wanted. So then I can use that other piece as a template if I want to, and that's what I did. So now I've got my pockets on. And now there's my journal, and the journal is, again, just pages that are folded together, and I sewed them together off camera. So there's our pocket here, and I put some things in the pocket there, and here's the journal. Just, miscellaneous. I put that tissue paper, glued it on one piece, and so it's got a pocket on both sides. And then I just have some plain craft colored paper. And then I've got some guest checks there that theoretically you would, do your orders. So all I have really left to do here is decorate the front. I think that I will go ahead and put some stuff in the pocket. So let's just say that's a notepad or a brochure or something they gave you, right? They gave you some playing cards, and they gave you some pictures of some historical places that you'll be stopping at. Yeah, you gotta use your imagination. Let's put something in that pocket again. That's the printed, not tissue paper, but printed tracing paper that I printed, and I just glued it down so that you've got these kind of see-through pockets. Then there's our guest check and our other pocket, and it all folds together nicely. So we'll just decorate the front, and I'm just going to find one of these that I really like, and I'm looking for the girl looking out the train window. This one, yeah, love, love, love that picture. So I'm just going to cut that down. I'm just using my guillotine trimmer. There we go. And it doesn't matter to me what the size is. It's not important. I'm just going to edge it up. I'm keeping it fairly simple on the outside. I'll glue her down. And back to my reptile adhesive for that, because it's easier to squeeze out of the bottle. I'll just lay that down on there. And I'm just going to use some twine to tie it all together, and we're done. I hope the video was helpful for you, and I hope that you go visit Tailor Made Cards for You and think about picking up one of these printable kits. It's really a beautiful kit. It's packed full of stuff, and once you have a digital printable, you basically have whatever paper you love for the rest of your life, but not in big piles in the corner of your room. Just when you're ready, pull it up and print it out. There we go. So I'm just leaving that loose on there. Hey, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Bye-bye.